welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Alrighty, here we go. Hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Happy Wednesday. Got some interesting thoughts here. Zach and Bama hit us up about us hitting the 31K mark on the KVJ Show YouTube channel. Trying to really pour a lot of people into that. Doing a lot of videos there. Of course, you get the regular and the After the Show are both on there live, and then they're also on demand. And for hitting the 31K, we said that we would get the henna face tats. And he said maybe you could do something to promote the YouTube channel itself, like the KVJ logo or something like that. I was thinking maybe get 31K. That might be kind of good. It'd make sense to what we're doing, but the face tat itself would promote the YouTube channel, so maybe even more people would go and subscribe for it.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, too, people are looking to... They're right. That's a good idea. They're looking to watch some content, and if something's odd or weird, they go, oh, I'll check that out. I'll subscribe. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
Little good stunty idea.
I think that might be a good way to do it because, I mean, ultimately it goes to the greatest good, which is getting people onto the YouTube channel. And then Kate, she said, why are you guys such gluttons for punishment? I get that it can be funny and the audience enjoys it, but why is it always punishments? For instance, you know, when you get good YouTube numbers, you can throw a little party. Maybe have some grilled cheese or some pizzas or something like that. And I love that idea.
That makes too much sense.
I do too, but that shit don't move the needles. People like seeing us get punished. The crazy stuff's what moves the needles, unfortunately. That's why we do it.
Okay. Yeah, but maybe we could do a celebration for people for something.
Yeah, I love the idea of celebrating with the people.
Yeah. That might be kind of a nice thing. Maybe when we get to more of a landmark, like a 35K or something like that, we could do something there. So I want to keep that growing. So keep spreading the word. We appreciate it. Also got an email from Michael, and he said, fun little thing to do with your show. I find it quite hilarious. Play your headphone karaoke recordings at half speed. It's so cringe.
Do we sound drunk?
It's so cringe.
Denny's pulled it out here. Yeah, this week we did New Kids on the Block because they're going to be in town on Saturday at the amphitheater. So I did The Right Stuff. Here it is and what it sounds like at half speed. You're the reason why I sing this song. All that I needed was you. Oh, girl. You're so right.
You sound like the girl that did the national anthem.
Yeah.
You sound hammered. That still sounds like you to me.
Angrid Andrus, yeah.
It sounds you, but you're trying to be sexy.
Yeah.
I've been that kind of singy song drunk before.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I put a lot more into it when I'm drunk.
You think, oh, I'm just nailing it.
Singing to the heavens.
Yeah. And here's Virginia's version of Step by Step.
Step by step, ooh baby, I really want you in my world. Step, hey girl, in your eyes, I see a picture of me.
I have definitely been around you when you've been that drunk singing.
Definitely.
Because you turn into Urkel, and I can hear a little Urkel going on in there.
That's fun. I bet there's a lot of things we could put at half speed, and it'd be pretty awesome to hear.
Of course.
Yeah.
So many, I love it. Avenues.
Keep identifying that. Do a little half speed theater for y'all. We'll take a look at that. Any suggestions, you can let us know. Got an email from Dina talking about metal detectors. She said, just to let you know, we're in our 30s and we love metal detecting. My friend does it in Washington. Finds a whole bunch of gold coins in Washington State, gold jewelry, all kinds of stuff. And they've been wanting to do it for years, Dina says. And you can get them on Amazon for just like $100, $125.
It always surprises me some of the things that connect with people. I got so many messages from people who do that. They love metal detectors. They go, I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s. There's a lot of people that like metal detectors.
People like treasure.
They do.
The thought of finding treasure, I think, is universal.
I probably had 12 messages from people who are into metal detecting.
Okay.
Which is kind of a lot for a niche type of topic.
Yeah. Hey, I do see some benefits on it. And the fact that you would be a lot, at least around here, probably walking on a beach. You're in the sand. It's beautiful around you, which is good for your mental health. And it's a mindless kind of thing where you're just swinging that thing around. And then there's the level of excitement when you do ping something. And if you actually ever did find something of any kind of value, you'd be like, all right, this is time well spent.
The people that were sending me messages, they had metal detector boners. They just loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. So many stories of what you're saying. I found this. I found that.
It's amazing when you can find like valuable jewelry that just one find, you're hooked for life.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
It's the hunt.
Yep.
It's the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
That's how I get looking for stuff at garage sales.
You're getting ginned up again.
The hunt. There's something about that hunt. And I've heard you talk about that with the Mexican Queen. And Caitlin, when they find a good deal on something, it's almost the hunt of it.
Yeah, they do. They love it. The shopping. Absolutely. I think that's why a lot of people shop. There is something with that, and they found that the shopping is like a lot of things. You trigger that endorphin in the brain, and it makes you feel good. You're like, oh my gosh, I love this. And that's why you keep going back. There are some people that they believe are addicted to shopping. And it's the same thing. Whenever you get the pleasure centers of the brain pinging, whether it be your porn or whether it be your doom scrolling or whatever it is you're doing, you're gambling, you're drinking, you ping those pleasure centers of the brain. That's how addiction's built.
Those garage sale videos when someone's got a GoPro or those spy glasses and they're recording, it's so fun to see what people are selling. Because a lot of people are selling their shit and don't even know what they have. They just want it out. They may be older.
Yeah.
Their kids are out of the house. Go, get this bullshit out of my house. And if you know what you're looking for, you can find some really cool shit.
Well, they don't realize the valuable stuff they have in their garage.
Yeah, well, the one YouTuber I watch, what he does, he goes out there, he'll give you the price of what he buys something for, and then underneath it, he'll put up what he sold it for eBay, and you see how much money he's made from that weekend garage sale. Sometimes that motherfucker makes $7,000.
Wow.
Now, that's not every weekend, but you'll find a picture that's worth all this money. He had no idea. You know, the people didn't know. Oh,
Now, I'm like this with a lot of things. And my question to you about the metal detecting, do you think it is something that you would regularly use, or would it be something that you do once, twice, maybe 3 times, and the novelty wears out super fast?
it depends on what kind of experience I have with it. If it's fun and it's...
But without knowing, yeah, that's the problem I have. There are so many things in life that I've thought about doing. For instance, one right now is paddleboarding. In my mind, I would be out paddleboarding all the time. Caitlin's got a girlfriend of hers, and her dad were about the same age. The dude is shredded. He looks phenomenal. What he does is paddleboarding. He goes out all the time paddleboarding, and the guy's ripped. I'm like, that would be me.
You could get in the ocean, paddleboard. You pass me. I'm doing my metal detecting.
Right.
Where are you at,
I'd wave to you,
Virginia?
hey, Bird, what's going on? I'm out there paddleboarding on the ocean. Yes.
I'm having cocktails.
She's on her boat. She just beached it on some kind of sandbar, looking at a storm.
I got to wait for the tide to come back in so my boat can be released from the sandbar.
Yeah.
We all have our little beach activity.
But the barrier of entry, there's a couple things. I have a buddy that he does the paddleboarding, and it's inflatable. It's pretty impressive. He'll pull off to the side of the road, he'll tell me, and he's got a little pump, blows the thing right up. It's like it's wood, Virginia.
I know. I've got on one of those inflatable paddle boards before. I didn't believe it was real because it just, I mean, the concept, what, is it going to be a floaty?
Yeah.
I can't balance on a floaty.
Right.
the paddleboard, you're always balancing, correct? What's the one when
Yes.
you're in it? Is that kayaking when you're...
You can do kayaking too, canoeing.
Yeah.
Those are the boats.
Any of those kind of tickle your fancy? Are you straight up?
They're okay, but I think the paddleboard would be better. I think the paddleboard, to me, my perception, I like it. It's a little bit cooler, and then it also works your core. if you're standing up and doing it. There are some benefits to that, and that's what I would want. There's half of it would be the beauty of being on the water and being out in nature. The other half is the workout that I would get.
Healthy Kev.
Yeah, the part that's appealing to me about the kayaking is you get to sit.
Sit and eat snacks.
Yeah, right.
I'm more of a raft guy.
So that's the whole thing. But even the inflatable, I think, is about $500. You get a decent paddleboard. I think they're about $1,000, and then you got to have the car to put it on top. So it's a to-do, and I haven't got there. And I have done this before too, where I have purchased something thinking that I would all of a sudden be that guy, and then you get out there, and the practicality of it hits. And it's not as awesome as you thought it was, and it's a lot more difficult to do than you would ever think. And then you just find yourself, after doing it 3 times, wow, I haven't done that in about a year and a half.
I spent a ton of money into all this wiffle ball equipment because me and my friends, Panda, all these guys, we were starting a wiffle ball league up, and that lasted for about 2 weeks. And these motherfuckers, they have something called wives and kids they got to get to. So that league went to shit. All that equipment, just sit. It's my dream, but yeah. But you have to Kevin's point, you have to kind of spearhead it all the time and make sure you're doing it and stay excited about it. If not, you will not do it.
And I've never done it just because I have not gotten into that pocket of time where, hey, it's an afternoon. I have nothing to do. What could I do with my time? That day doesn't happen for me.
And that's why you wouldn't be good at that, because you're the kind of person that's never going to make that kind of time. I know how you are. You're never going to say, let me just go ahead and when we got show shit to do.
I'm not there in my life right now, so it doesn't work, and that's why I haven't done it. But, maybe one day if, Cannon leaves, he's done, he's gone, and then I'm sitting around and the Queen's like, you know what? I don't think I really like you. And then... then I'm like, okay, cool. Well, let me go do something then.
Now that the kids are on, can I be honest?
Yeah, right. I got to be honest with you. You know what? I've never really liked you. I'm starting to realize that. I don't want to see you anymore. And then I'd be like, you know what? I could go paddleboard then.
I'm going to go paddleboard and cry.
Yeah, right. So, if that ever happens, I think I know what it's going to be, but I haven't gotten there because of that. Yeah, it'd be something.
I know what you mean, though, when you get all ginned up about something and you go full gorilla financially.
Dude,
your spirit is
that's how I do it. And I feel like
so.
you have to do it right to do it, because I'm like, if I do it half-assed, I'm going to get in it. I'm not going to I'm going to sabotage myself. So I have to get the best of the best, and then I get into something stupid. I'm like, what was I doing?
Oh, I bought a pitching machine for wiffle balls for the boys so they could play. Oh, I went
a pitching machine.
Oh yeah, so many. I bought 3 sets of bases so we could have 3 games going at one time. I went so deep into it.
Yeah, so maybe one day. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious with you, the metal detecting. Do you get into it, and does it change your life? And are you now metal detecting guy almost every weekend? Or is it, I went twice this year.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Cautionary tale.
Mm-hmm. Who will you be?
Be careful, too, how you don't manhandle your metal detector. I could see you, I don't know,
Snaps
breaking
Pennington.
it. Tripping and breaking it.
Don't tell Snaps Pennington how to live his life, please.
Trips and snaps.
Fuck this.
Because it's true.
Okay, Jeff said, hey, let the bird know that he's going to have to give the Acolyte a try. They just tied in and connected it to Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, from the original series of Star Wars, so he can't hate on it anymore. Why are you doing the jerk-off motion?
You're not going to... What's it, the Acolyte?
Acolyte is the Star Wars series that they have now on Disney+. Plus.
I will check out the finale, because I believe he left a voice message. He wants me to watch it. I'm going to watch it.
Okay, you are.
Yeah, I'll watch the finale.
I feel like I am so lost and out on all the Star Wars spin-off series that they've done. I just wouldn't even know where to do it. I had done The Mandalorian. I think it was season 1. I enjoyed it, and then...
It got whack.
It was gone for a while, and you had told me about how it got whack, and I wasn't so excited to do it, because I don't have Disney+. That's one of the few streaming things we don't have. And then it's a to-do to get it signed up. And they probably have that 2-code authentication system now, which I can't figure out. So I just
only a Sith can figure it out.
Right. It feels like you need some kind of evil Jedi powers to do the 2-factor authentication. Engineer Keith had sent this for you, Jbird. He said, you got to get to SuperCon one year. They have goodies like this, and it's just a shelf It's a rack of all kinds of action figures from G.I. Joe to Star Wars. And
So those look like original. They
Yeah.
are original. Okay, Virginia, this gives me a bone piece.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're in the package still.
Right.
From the 80s.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah.
So you could buy a whole bunch of toys. They go out and do some metal detecting and they just slay puss all night.
Did you say jerk off all night?
Just that's a solid day. Just put that all together.
Look, you want to be with a woman that understands you.
You're right, you do. Hey, hon, I'm going to go buy some toys. I'm going to do some metal detecting. I'm going to come home and I'm going to hit that puss hard.
Oh, my gosh, I'm so wet. Oh, my gosh, Jason, please grab your metal detector. Oh, my God, yes.
Oh, my God, yes. Oh, it's pinging. It's pinging.
How many coins did you find?
You found a treasure. That's a whole day of foreplay right there, Virginia. Doesn't that kind of get you going?
Boy, I'm so wet.
People are drenched.
Drenched.
Floodgates open.
Yep. Daniel said on Friday, Kev, you'd mentioned that McDonald's has this new Kit Kat banana split McFlurry. Well, I did the work, and honestly, I'm surprised that the machine was working, but it comes in a small size, and the only thing they really did was get banana moon pie crumbs in Kit Kat pieces, and they called it a day. After that, it just is straight soft serve ice cream in a cup. Okay.
Just those are the only options they had?
Banana moon pie and Kit Kat pieces. Is that together enough to be like, oh, man, yeah, I got to do that?
No, I want more options. That's my only knock on a place like a Sweet Tomatoes. I always say I love Sweet Tomatoes. They only had one kind of cheese you could use, and only like 7 dressings. If you're
Sweet tomatoes have one kind of cheese.
yeah, and if you're
Really?
if you're a salad place,
Was it like the hot cheese?
no, like your
nacho
shredded cheese you put on a
They
salad.
only have one shredded cheese.
Yes, and
Whoa.
I every now and then they might, if it's a specialty month, have a Parmesan cheese or something. But it
Okay.
was pretty much one type of
Limited.
cheese. Salad place, buffet style. You ain't got 9 different cheeses. We ain't
They
got
should.
30
You
fucking
need to have
sauces.
crumbles. You have to have crumbles.
You gotta have all kind of shit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Crumbles and soft cheese. I like
Yeah.
I like a cheese sauce.
Well, there's also why are you gonna put a cheese sauce on a salad?
My mom did.
Wow.
My mom used to pour the cheese sauce from the super buffet at Wendy's, the super bar. She would pour the cheese sauce all over her salad.
I don't know if I'd like that actually.
She loved it.
To me,
It was a
cheese-
taco salad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a taco
So yeah,
salad.
you get the ground beef
and it
in
was
there.
amazingly
Yes.
3,500 calories.
It's a 3,500 calorie salad. It's basically your calories for 2 days.
That's
Yeah.
if you don't go up there. That's only if you go up there once.
And then she was like, I'm doing so good on my diet.
Then I'm going to have a banana split.
Now I know where to get my food issues from. Thanks, Mom.
It's so funny. I used to see that justification. People would have that 3,500 calorie salad, and they'd be like, well, you know what? I was so good. I'm going to go out and get a brownie sundae.
And you ate the whole entire fried bowl
Yeah.
as well.
That's how my mom and my Aunt Ann was. When Sonny's Barbecue came down here to South Florida, it was a big fucking deal for the Penningtons. And they had that salad bar, and they would have the highest salad I've ever seen with so much fucking cheese and dressing
Yeah.
and bacon bits,
Croutons.
the wonton little sticks.
Right. So much stuff. That was great, man. Dieting was so whack in the 80s and 90s. People thought they were so on it.
And my mom was always on a diet, but was always not on a diet.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think we did it right back then.
No, they didn't, and that
The
was the funny
science
thing.
wasn't there.
No, it wasn't.
You just had a bunch of people like making stuff up, and then a bunch of people like my mom going, "Okay,
Yeah.
it says salad, so it must be good." No, it's 3,500 calories.
Yeah.
They tried Weight Watcher. They tried all that stuff.
They started just throwing a word, attaching it to a product, and it would be 0 or fat-free or diet, and you'd be like, oh my, or light.
Yes, light.
And you would go for it, be like, oh my gosh, or free. And you're like, oh, these words. It was the decades of words, and then you would buy into it, and it was actually the food was making you fatter.
And
you
the
couldn't
words
believe
were
it.
lies.
They were, absolutely.
So many people have weight issues. They really, it's such a common thing.
It is, yeah.
Anytime anyone says, Bird, you got food issues, I go, yeah, I know I do. My entire
Yeah.
family does. The only one that in my family who I don't think has any kind of food issues is my father. But that's a different,
A different side of the family.
It is, man. My mom's side, we love food.
I think it's all about like how you're raised. I think you are imprinted at a very young age when you watch your parents and how they look at food, and it's kind of ingrained in you.
Every kind of reward system or excitement or celebration, food was the
Prize.
the main thing that was running that entire operation.
Yeah, food was the thing that was joy.
It really was joy. Oh, to have food in the fridge, the good stuff, and then go play Mario Brothers with the air condition. Oh my gosh, I thought
That's
we were
a
rich.
day.
I thought we were rich.
We're rich.
That's a day.
We have microwavable cheeseburgers. Holy shit!
Stacy said, I just listened to the Jerk segment about the guy keeping the Kindle that he found, and I got a little story to tell. My son, who was 2 at the time, and I traveled to Florida from the Bahamas a day ahead of my husband for a few appointments. While in Target, my son had to use the bathroom, and I took him to the family bathroom, and like everyone dealing with a toddler, got distracted and left my phone in there. About a half hour later, I realized I didn't have my phone, and I panicked, and I ran back to the bathroom to check, and it was gone. I started to panic. I'm on vacation. It's not like I could use their phone to call someone to come get me, like if I was home. With tears in my eyes, I went to the customer service desk and I asked somebody if they had turned a phone in. I didn't expect much. She looked at me and asked, well, what color is the phone? I burst out crying. I said, blue. Couldn't believe it. Somebody had turned the phone in. I am thankful to whoever turned in my phone that day. If you find something, you should definitely turn it in. And that person was asking if they're a jerk because they'd found a Kindle in their hotel room. And they're like, it's like the universe just gave it to me. And they walked away with it and said, I'd always wanted a Kindle, but I didn't want to spend any money on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've had too many scenarios where I've left a phone in the bathroom, right, where the toilet paper dispenser is. Yeah. And then some girl brought it to the hostess stand and was kind enough to turn in my phone. And then I was lucky enough to get it back. So if I ever find somebody's Kindle or somebody's phone, I am bringing it to the hostess stand. I am bringing it to the manager. I am turning it in because that's just good karma. I want that same karma in my life when I'm drunk and I leave my phone in the ladies' room.
Well, I love my phone in the Uber car not that long ago. Remember when you came with me to go? And it was pinging at this one weird place. And
where they were doing the most construction in the parking lot.
I hadn't had my phone for almost 3 days. And when the gentleman dropped it off at my house, I was so thankful. You are. Yeah. I know it. I know that feeling because your phone is everything, and it's such a. If you've ever lost your phone, it's such a fucking to do to get it all back to normal and get your life back.
And it's expensive.
It's almost a week of just frustrating, and it's fuckery when you lose a phone like that.
Yeah.
So when people do give it back, that feeling of I can't believe someone's kind.
Yeah.
They didn't keep an iPhone.
Thank you so much.
Your thought for the day today was so good because everybody does have the power to make others either sad or happy. And when you make other people happy, you in turn then make yourself happy. And you will have a better existence. People that are kind and are people that are generous and that give, I just noticed they are so much better than people who are miserable and they're always trying to get whatever advantage in life they can get. Be like, well, I need to take whatever because life doesn't ever bring you anything good. It's because you never put anything out in life that's good. And so you a lot of times get back, you reap what you sow. That's a wise saying that's in the Bible and has been all around forever and thousands of years because it's tried and true. It's proven. You do good things come back to you.
You get what you give, Kev.
Absolutely. 100 different ways to say it.
Your turn, Virginia. Come on.
No, I believe it. I've lost my stuff too many times, and people have been very kind to me.
Yep.
I owe the universe Kindles and phones. So if I find them, I make sure they get back to the owner.
Yep.
But it is a good kind of perspective that a lot of us do walk around with power of being kind or not kind,
Right.
and
It is.
It really, I mean, it kind of makes you think. All right, I got power. Because
Can-
everyone's got power.
You can talk to most people for 5 minutes and you know where their mindset is.
Totally.
Now, power might be different for, it's semantics, but yeah, to your point, we all do have that power to make somebody feel a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. No
Unless
doubt.
you're, a fucking psychopath.
Jonathan had a question here. They checked out that new Texas Roadhouse. I've seen on social media people have been talking about that. It's on North Lake and Palm Beach Gardens.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised of all the hype, to be quite honest with you. I really did not expect this much of a...
I was surprised too. I mean, we've got several of the Texas Roadhouse throughout South Florida, and why Gardens is going so gaga for. They do have, that is a nice rural restaurant. I've been to the Olive Garden that's on North Lake, and that's a decent Olive Garden, Virginia.
It is. Well, they're new.
I've seen it. It's new construction, new building,
It was
new
nice.
vibe.
I liked it.
That is there's something to be said for going to a new Olive Garden as opposed to an old Olive Garden.
And look, I love Texas Roadhouse. I'm not knocking them.
Yeah.
I was just kind of shocked of the excitement.
A lot of it, yeah.
I looked at my next
Lot
door.
of hype,
You would have
yeah.
thought the fucking Beatles were coming
I know.
back.
I saw the same post. People were losing their marbles over Texas Roadhouse. I was like, all right, okay.
And they are good.
Yeah, whatever gets you going. So Jonathan was there, and it wasn't, he said, look, it was good. And, no complaints on that. The problem was he was trying to spend some quality time with his girl, and she kept looking at her Apple Watch, the phone, and then back and forth. She was in a group chat discussing when the next test is supposed to be that they're going to take. And I got kind of upset because I was like, hey, look, this is a conversation that you could get to in an hour and you're going to be fine. It's not something pressing you have to know right now. And our whole dinner at this place I was excited to go to was spent with you engaged with a group text on your phone and on your Apple Watch. And then she got a little upset when I said something about it. I'm just curious if I'm in the wrong or should I be apologizing that she got upset. So
I think she's in the wrong with doing that. If it's something that's not life-threatening and you can get to it in an hour, yeah, you need to be engaged at dinner with your mate. I believe that. Now, did he handle it wrong? Did he say, you fucking bitch?
Right.
How did he handle it?
I think what he just commented on, he said, hey, could you stay engaged and could we have a nice dinner together? You're spending all your time connecting with other people on your phone and your watch. And I'm curious, I've never done the watch, but do you get a vibration like you do with a
Yes.
phone when you get messages? So imagine how it's ripping your attention out of the moment constantly then.
It is.
Yes.
It's to me, I can't stand the Apple Watch. Most people do not know the etiquette. Denny's is great. He knows what. There's some people I'm like, get the fuck out. You're not even here. You might as well get out. Because you're right. You're in the middle of telling a story, or they're talking and they're telling you a story. Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me say hello with an emoji.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, it's something you have to be aware of. And it is a catch-22. My wife she'll snap at me if I'm on my phone too much. And so I try to be mindful of what that moment is to say, okay, phone away, don't do it. But unlike a lot of people, I have pressure to always be responding to messages and make sure that you're up on absolutely everything in life that is happening.
And people are going to message you more if you're not up on the first two messages they sent you.
Yeah, and so it's tough because there's a part of me that unfortunately I'm in a job where it commands me being in constant communication with a lot of people.
Yeah, but to me, if you're going out to dinner, you gotta mentally prepare. I'm taking off my Kevin Ralston work hat or whoever the person is, and say I'm going to be engaged with my mate. If not, we're not going out to dinner. Then.
And I do that, and you're right. That's exactly it. And I'll tell myself, say, hey, you know what? Whatever the world's got going on right now, I'm not going to know about it. And that happened. I was out with my son. I'm not looking at my phone, and 90 minutes later, and
The guy who's running for president gets shot.
they try to kill the president. Yeah,
But honestly,
the former
if
president.
you found that in real time, what are you going to do about it anyway? You know
exactly.
what I mean? What are you going to do about it?
But it's an example of and I didn't have a show the next day, and all that kind of stuff. But that's just the way it goes.
It's an example of when you put your phone down and take your eyes off the ball, shit just goes haywire.
you just don't want to be.
That's how it does work with me. Yeah.
You just don't want to be on your deathbed going, oh, I missed
You're right.
the dinner because I was working on prep for that one segment. I mean, there's a time where you almost have to let go of
It's
some
a
stuff.
balance, and it's a tricky balance. Every day and in every moment, I'm trying to ask myself, be mindful of your present. Are you doing the right thing that you should be doing at this very moment? And sometimes you say, yeah, unfortunately, I've got a job to do. I have to do this, and I have to be focused on that. But then you're right. To the other point, you're with your kid, you're with your family. Put the damn phone down.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much you can do. We have to go, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a day. Yeah. I think it's good not only for your family, but for yourself. Yeah, I'm talking to the universal person.
It's good for yourself. And they're finding, too, that the number one ingredient for creativity, which we need, is boredom, mindlessness. And that's a problem. And I do realize sometimes when I am so engaged with my mind, you don't have time to step back and do anything creative. When's the last time you came up with a creative idea? A lot of times it's because you've always been stimulating your mind. Your mind has to rest, and you have to be thinking about nothing. That's why they say driving in silence, washing the dishes.
Walking for me is so good.
Things like that where you're completely unplugged and you take the time for quiet. You don't then fill your head with a podcast. You like, okay, now I'm going to disengage my brain. And then if you are in a field where you've got to be creative and have ideas, that's the best and number one way to do it.
Well, you can get easily lost in the sauce with just life. Anybody can. To do anything kind of creative, you do need some time to let the space be. Let you be.
Yep.
Let you be 40.
Kevin hates them.
I hate them too.
God, they had some terrible songs.
There's a few bands that me and Kevin really do not like.
Red Wine.
You've bonded over your hate of that song.
You be 40 and Steve Winwood.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stand
Just immediately. It just brings out the rage.
You be 40 is a tough one for me to live. When I hear Red Wine, that rage comes through.
Yeah. Didn't know about this. Carlos was saying that he stopped by a gas station yesterday and the sign said $3.29. Not bad. Everybody else was about $3.59. When I walked to the pump, though, it said $3.99. I walked over to another pump thinking that maybe the screen light is messed up, and no, it said $3.99. So I walked to the store and I asked the cashier what was the gas price. She then informed me that if it was cars or debit, it was $3.29, but if you paid with credit, it was $3.99. So I handed her cash and walked out. I've had
cash or debit, it's one price maybe, and then credit card is a different price, and they charge you more.
Yeah, they make it real easy for you.
Okay, I've had gas where it's 10 cents. With other places, 70 cents more.
That's crazy.
So that's shady, and that's a gallon.
Yeah, they do. The cash price is cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But it's slippery.
And there are times where when you're paying with a credit card, they'll charge you some kind of a weird fucking surcharge. I think that it just now happened a couple years ago.
Yep, more percent if you use a credit card. A lot of places have started doing it.
My buddy who runs that antique store in Lake Park, he said he had to go through that where everyone was confused, and all of a sudden you're paying with your credit card and you're paying more. He's like, well, pay for cash. It's easier that way.
Right.
And it is.
It's way easier.
You'll knock off quite a bit of money. If there's a big ticket item, you're going to save some money if you're paying through cash.
Okay.
They really fuck you on that one thing.
All right. So that is a thing. Tisha was wanting to know about some expenses here. She said, we're moving to Crawfordville. It's just south of Tallahassee, and we got 2 movers coming for 3 hours. My wife and I were discussing how much to tip each mover. I said $20. She said $40. Then we compromised on $30. What price sounds good to you? Mind you, we paid about $250 for guys here, then about $300 for guys in Crawfordville. So we'll still have to tip those guys. We're just curious what you all considered a good tip for movers, because we never had to pay someone. And by the way, we'll continue to be KVJ Nationers all the way in the Panhandle.
Aw, we'll miss you, but I'm up there a lot.
I used to live up in the Panhandle for college. I know that terrain.
I would say, $40 a piece is very nice, very generous. $30 is a little less. I wouldn't do 20. I would do either 30 or 40.
Okay. I guess it depends on how much they're moving too, right?
Yeah, and how gentle are they with your stuff? If they look like they're actually caring and they're really like, taking pride in their work and not slamming down your stuff, give them 40.
Here's $40. 35. 30. Every bang you hear.
It keeps going down,
knock
yeah.
off 5.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll do a little poll there, too, and ask how much you tip a mover, 20, 30, 40. Do you do even more? You can sound off right now if you're watching us live on YouTube. Drew said, hey, guys, maybe instead of a dog stroller for Kevin, y'all should pull a wagon behind for Ocho. And you could also put a small cooler in it, have drinks on your walk. That is Drew from Jupiter. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. We used to have a little red wagon. I don't know if we still do. I think it might be gone or disappeared somewhere. But we were talking about when we take my daughter's dogs out, Ocho, who he's got a little bit of a weight problem. He loves to eat.
Get in line.
Dog loves to eat. He'll be out, and when he gets to the point where he's just done walking, he just lays down and he's not moving. And then you got to pick him up. You got to carry him like a baby, and he's not light.
Then he lays down so the other dog can go up and blow him.
Yeah. Oh, these dogs.
Your dogs are very sexual. They're two males, and they don't care who's watching.
No, in fact, they love when people are watching. I was telling the story about how we had the AC guy over for a checkup, and they kind of got out of my purview, my sight, and I was dealing with Coco, the one dog, getting her put away. Because, some people just freak out about dogs. They don't like them around. And then I'm like, where are the dogs? And I see the AC guy. He's just staring down, and his eyes are all wide. I'm like, so I come around the couch, and Prince is just drilling Ocho. I mean, he's going to town. And Ocho's just got his tongue out.
Eyes
he's
rolled back.
He's loving it.
Smoking
a
cigarette.
That guy's just like, I'm like, oh, my gosh, stop, man. What are you guys doing? What the hell?
It's a dog brothel in your house.
Yeah, and then I'll just be working, and I'll have them out of the cage, and they just, Prince will come over and he'll lay on his back, and Ocho will just start licking his dick, like just for a good 5-10 minutes.
Go slower.
And then they'll change places.
Whoa.
Yeah, I recorded it one time, post up there. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen, I mean, I grew up around dogs. I just don't know that I've seen two dogs that are more gay than them. And I know people have tried to tell me, I thought once upon a time, oh yeah, they're not gay. And I'm like, these dogs are gay. Like and it's very carnal.
When they were going for it and you were filming it, did you feel dirtier when you were filming it or dirtier when you were uploading it?
Well, I was just like, it's like they demanded it. Like they wanted it. Because they just were, I'm like, all right. Well,
Ocho looked back at the camera and winked.
Well, I remember I was filming lizards having sex, and I posted that, and I felt dirty after.
Yeah, it was so frequent. And I'd tell people, and they'd be like, yeah, because I would mention it on the show. And people be like, it's just a dominance thing. That's all. I'm like, no, I've grown up around dogs. I've seen when they do the humping for dominance. This is more than that.
This was pleasure.
I mean, it's just, I've not seen anything like it. And that's why it's almost like, because people are just calling, they're like, Kevin doesn't know anything about dogs. I was like, no, you've got to see these dogs. They just, and you could tell they're both enjoying it. And
no, they're coupled up. This
Right.
is not dogs just being dogs sniffing butts and checking each other out.
It's more than I've ever seen.
There's a gaze. There's a look between the eyes.
They do.
They gaze at each other.
They're married.
Yeah, they will sit there and they will just lick each other for 20, 30 minutes. And sometimes it's all over, but then a lot of times after they're like, all right, you know what? Why don't you take care of this for a while?
That's what I'm saying. They're coupled up.
And then they roll over and he's like, all right, here we go.
They're like an old couple.
Yeah, they are. And I mean, God bless it. Though. I mean, it's so sweet to see the love that they have for each other. And they're both so sexually active. I really encourage it. I'm happy for them. But I just had to show people. I'm like, these are gay dogs, and they are doing this. This isn't dominance. This is a different thing. So, yeah, they just absolutely love it. So, that's their thing, and they love for people to watch them, too. So, if you guys ever come over, I'll let them out, and you guys can just watch them just suck and fuck for a good hour.
People are asking for more videos of them porking.
Gladly, yeah. I'll get today. I mean, there's one. It's up, I think it's on KVJ Instagram somewhere, but it's there, and it was solid. I only put up probably a minute of it.
Oh, just a minute.
But it went for a while.
It was uncomfortable.
When you get to see how they flip.
Oh, I did.
Because they'll be like, all right, my turn now. And then I'm like, they're going, and you're right, their eyes are rolling back, their tongues are out.
They're lost.
They're just lost in it.
Time.
They're just lost in it, baby. All right, y'all have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.